Hi everyone, Jonny from TWM, and I am joined by one of my favourite wrestlers on Twitter, mostly because she actually follows me, so it's nice. But yes, it is Nadia Sapphire. Hi Nadia.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, yeah. How is everything down your end?
Fine, we're back on lockdown, which is like so annoying. Like, I personally don't believe it all. I don't know what you're allowed to say on here, what you're not allowed to say, but I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah, like it's just, there's just so many rules, and it's so difficult to follow them all because they change all the time.
It's so contradicting. It's like, what, Corona only comes out at 10 p.m. and stuff like that. And it's like, you go to the gym and it'd be like, oh yeah, walk down the corridor with a mask, but then take your mask off when you do some weights or something. It's just like, it's really contradicting, really weird. Nothing seems to make sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's just all like, it's really weird. Like, I honestly feel like they're trying to control us.
It does feel that way, yeah.
It does, more to it, but we won't know until years to come, will we? Who knows?
Yeah. But how is it affecting your training and things like that?
So for me, I'm still going to the gym. Luckily, I went to a one-to-one fitness studio, like sort of like towards the end of May. So even when we were still in lockdown, I was still training. It's like, say, like March and April, I was sort of like training from home. And then towards the end of May then, I managed to find a local fitness studio. So it was like one-to-one training. It was just me and the trainer in there, and then like obviously self-distancing. So yeah, that's been good. And now obviously I'm back at the gym too. I've done like bits of wrestling, like wrestling shows where like you film it indoors, and I've done stuff for my custom wrestling company Power Girls as well, so I have still wrestled. Like, I wrestled 7 matches on the weekend for our custom company, but like, yeah, but I haven't actually done any wrestling training. I wanted to go back to wrestling training, and we just keep going back on lockdown again. It's so annoying.
Oh yeah, and then you've got obviously physical contact is quite a important thing in wrestling, so
definitely, like, it is weird. It's weird just like not having shows every weekend, not having training during the week, and not having a goal to train for and stuff like that. Like, not traveling, not packing my bags of wrestling gear. Like, literally, like, my wrestling gear is just all in the back of my wardrobe at the moment, and it's probably just rot away. So
when did you decide that you wanted to be a wrestler? I think, is it 13 years you've been in the wrestling?
God. Can't even think now. Oh my God, I just turned 29. I'm so old.
Yeah. I'm 29 this year, so.
It's horrible, honestly. Like, there's nothing. No, I do it all the time. I usually do like a week celebration, but honestly, like, it's so shit. I just hope that I keep looking there. But when I was like, I started watching it when I was about 8 or 9, and I was literally like so in love with it. Like, I was in love with the characters. It was during like the Alliance time. Like, talk about YouTube channel as well. Like, it was like the most magical time in wrestling for me. It was like my favourite time, and I was like, I have to wrestle. And then when I was 14 years old, I found a training school, and then just went from there really. I did take a 4-year break out when I was like 18 to 22, but so, and then I've been back then for 7 years.
Yeah, and you have quite a interesting finisher. Not many wrestlers have used that, but
which one? Quite a few finishers.
So the stink face.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that's one, like, of course, we know about.
That's like the most popular one. Like, there's a video on YouTube. It's got like over 1 million views, and me stink face no breath. Like, they do have like really, but like, unfortunately, it doesn't knock people out to pin them. So I can't. Maybe I should start knocking people out.
Well, what made you decide to use that one?
Oh God, I got a fat cellulite ass like Rikishi. So it just made sense, and it was just like my character. Like, basically, like by the time I'd like come back to wrestling when I was 22, like, literally I'd had so many injuries. I'd had like ACL reconstruction, I'd had like black eyes, I'd had all sorts. I was like, right, I gotta start like protecting my body now, working smart, developing a character even more, and not like chucking all these German suplexes left, right and centre. So I was like, stink face, perfect, got a big ass, character's a bitch anyway, character loves herself and loves her ass, and then like literally it just went from there. And it's weird now because literally my whole like revenue is basically like I live off the stink face and the Nadia Sapphire brand, which is bizarre. I never thought that would happen. Like I said to my mum the other day, I said, oh, if I knew this sooner, I would have lived off all of this sooner. Like I honestly didn't realise how much like having like a move like that, how much like money and revenue it could even make. Is bizarre.
Yeah, it is very unique, but you know, people will remember that. So
yeah.
So what other moves do you say you have? Like what is your favourite finisher?
I've got my Sapphire Desire, which is sort of like a rampage. But before that, I was doing a German suplex pin, which was like, my bridge was just like amazing. Like it literally just go like that. Like if you look up like some old matches of me versus Nixon Newell, you'll see it. But I've had a lower back injury over the last few years. So the one good thing about lockdown is I have been rehabbing that back. And at Full Force Wrestling the other day, I did use my German suplex like finisher pin. My bridge isn't as good as it used to be, but obviously as my back gets stronger, it'll be getting there. So I'm hoping by the time like things are back to normal, that'll be my new finisher again, and I'll just be suplexing people.
Yeah. Have you had intergender matches?
Yeah, I have had intergender matches. I've had like, quite like, it's always been like tag intergender matches and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So like, I was going to say, what do you think of recently last year we had a woman win the World Championship? What's your thoughts on that? Yeah,
on Impact.
Yeah.
I know, but you know what? To be fair, Tessa Blanchard is so talented. Like, fair play to her. Like, I didn't even like know about it until like I did like a Q&A on my YouTube, and someone like sent like 2 or 3 people actually sent it to me on Twitter, and I hadn't watched Impact for like a good month or so because I think it was like at the start of lockdown. And I was like, what? And I looked, I was like, oh my God, fair play. Like, Tessa's won like the heavyweight championship. I was like, wow, she's literally at the top of the company.
Yeah, and it was a great moment for women's wrestling. And
yeah, definitely.
I imagine it's something that will happen again at some point, hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. So the name Nadia Sapphire, is sapphire your favourite colour or?
You know what? My trainer came up with it. He's like, you can't just have Nadia. And my real name's Nadia Agali Manor. And I use Nadia Agali. It's like, oh, how about I have like Nadia Agali or Nadia Manor or something called Nadia Agali Manor? And he's like, oh, can we be able to, like, you know, pronounce that? Because it's like an Arabic surname. So he's like, Sapphire. I was like, yeah, okay, do you have Nadia Sapphire? So that was given to me when I was 16 years old. I'm 29 now, so I just rolled with it. No point in changing it.
Yeah, it's a good name.
Yeah, but then I noticed that, right? Literally, like, there's this website called Star Now. Some girl started using my name, and then like there's some other wrestlers who then started using Sapphire. And I'm like, what? Why are you stealing my name for? Like, no, like I'm the only one.
The only Nadia Sapphire, yes.
Yeah, well, the best Nadia Sapphire. I'm joking.
No doubt about that. Yeah. So you've been wrestling. You're 29 now, and you also do a YouTube channel. How long have you been doing that for?
Started doing that a few years back, but sort of like, you know, like when you just sort of like half-arse it, where like you just put videos up now and then, and it's the same with that now. But then like before lockdown, my little sister was like, nah, you do realise you're monetized? I was like, what's that? She was like, oh, you've got like loads of like subscribers, this and that. And I was like, oh, is it? I was like, I don't really know how it works or anything. So yeah, she like signed me up to like AdSense and stuff like that. And she's like, oh, I'll do some more YouTube videos. But I still haven't even bothered doing many. Like I've got like 2 or 3 YouTube videos which I need to do. And I've got such a backlog, just editing them and everything. Like it is long. Like I've done like, I did like a photo shoot last week, and like I did like a YouTube video, like behind the scenes for my photo shoot, not uploaded that. I did a behind the scenes video of wrestling at Power Girls Pro, not uploaded that. I've not edited or uploaded any of it. Like I need to just like, you know, like when you have a day, like when you're just on it and you do it and like you don't get fed up either. Because editing's just long.
it does take a long time, yeah. It's like, yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? Like the videos are great, but then it's like the whole process of editing.
editing, making a thumbnail, putting a description, then putting all your tags in and promoting it. It is like, and I need to do it because like, you know, like, and like, I've even got a Q&A I need to do. And the thing is like, I've got like some great followers on there who like, they love engaging with me and they love seeing my videos. So I know I need to do it. It's just finding the motivation and the time for it.
Yeah, of course. And of course you've got the, you know, the training that you do, and just to fit it all in, it's time consuming.
Literally. Yeah, like I find it hard, like fitting anything in. Like I'm so like erratic and all over the place that literally, I find I nearly missed this.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you know what you're here now. So.
Stood you up. I literally nearly stood you up. Like I'm a nightmare.
Oh well, I forgive you for that.
And it's like person as well. Like I'll take like days. Like people like message me on Instagram or Twitter, and then by the time I get to my messages, I'll take days to apply. And they're like, "No, it's fine. Like you haven't applied." I'm like, "I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm just genuinely like so busy." Yeah, So in the end, I'm like, "Just take my WhatsApp number. You will get me on WhatsApp. Like WhatsApp, just get me on now. Or if worse comes to worse, ring me. Like literally ring me."
Yeah, because I remember when I first dropped you a message and you didn't have a profile picture, so I was thinking, I hope this is the right person.
I think like you've got to add someone to your contacts, haven't you? Like in order to see the profile picture, like I've got that settings. But I do have my notifications on WhatsApp turned off because at the same 2 hours, so it is still the best way to get to me. Sorry, just my net was dodgy there. Just turn my phone off. So a slightly more serious thing. Unfortunately, we will have to talk about it because it's a big thing in the last few months. You did have a video about your about the speaking out movement. Yeah. And since that video, have you noticed changes for the better in the wrestling business? Well, I think because obviously COVID's happened, we won't know, will we? Because we haven't been running normal shows or anything. The speaking out movement affected so many girls who I know who are still in the wrestling scene and who've also left wrestling. Like I went to visit a good friend of mine, Pollyanna, recently because the speaking out movement really affected her. It's just like I don't feel like it would have happened if like lockdown hadn't happened. Because the thing is, with this, it's like where you wrestling shows every week, it's hard to speak up because then you're going to see people are going to ask you. Everyone's got friends in the business, and like it's just it's like a really sensitive subject. Like when obviously it was all happening, I was in a dark place for them a few weeks because as far as I was concerned, I buried it all. I just sort of dealt with it. I'm like, you know, like it's something that happened to me in my life. Like, you know, now people call me a slut, people call me this, people call me that, but it is what it is. Like that was always it. Then when the speaking out movement happens, people start getting in touch with me. People are like, I remember this happening to you. I remember that happening to you. And they were like, you do realise you were 15. And then I was like, oh yeah, like, you know, like I was a young girl. And then I look at girls then like Chantel Jordan, who like I absolutely love, and like Lucinda, and I look at them and I think, oh my God, like look how protective I am over them girls. They're like so young and vulnerable. How would I feel if someone was doing this to these girls now? And then I started realising, well, no, when I was 15, I was just a vulnerable young girl. When in my head, I just accepted no, Nad, you're a slag. Like literally everyone says you're a slag for doing what you did when you were 15. You're a slag, you know what I mean? And I just accepted that, and I just accepted that was who I am. That's what people thought, and that's what it was. But then when all this happened, I realised, well, no, actually, I was 15. These men were way older than me. I was groomed. Like, you know, like I was actually manipulated. I was made to feel like beautiful and amazing, just like, you know, so they could get their kicks and then they can fuck off, you know?
Yeah, and it's so sad to hear those kind of stories. You know, it's difficult to listen to, and you know.
I used to make a joke in wrestling. So basically, obviously, when I was 18, I got I like my ACL and everything. I went, and then when I was 22, when I came back to wrestling, I always used to joke to people, they don't want me now because I'm older. I'm wiser, I'm more gobby, they don't want me now. And I literally was making that joke up until before the Speaking Out movement. Basically, I'd always say, they don't want me now because I'm older. They only wanted me when I was younger. And I've always said they want the young girls in wrestling. And it's so true. Like, they just see, like, how, like, you're naive, you want to learn. Like, literally, I stand by that. A lot of them just want the young girls in wrestling. If you're under 20, like, literally, as far as they're concerned, like, you're fresh meat. Like, and that's how, like, a lot of these wrestlers are. Like, and it's disgusting when you actually sit there and you think about it and you think, what the hell? Like, they want the young ones. Like, that's not right. Like, that's, like, literally bad. But they do. It's as if, like, they prey on the young girls. It's like they're easy to manipulate. When you're older, like, people do still obviously get manipulated when they're older, but it's harder when people are older. And when someone's young and someone's got a dream and someone wants to be a wrestler, they'll shut their mouth. They won't tell their parents, they won't tell their friends, because they don't want to lose wrestling. They don't want to be taken out of wrestling. If anything as well, like, you believe these people as well. Like, they manipulate you so much, like, where you, like, you know, like, they'll make you feel like that you were in the wrong when really, like, you were just a child.
Yeah, well, definitely. I mean, you know, I'm sure everyone would agree that you definitely aren't in the wrong. You know, but you know, that now there's a big change hopefully coming, and
I don't know. Like, I really like. I hope that there is a change, and I feel like, you know, like, for me anyway, personally, like, I feel like with like, children can teach wrestling just because they're amazing wrestlers and they've gone here and they've gone there and they've gone to all these major promotions, or they've gone to WWE UK, this and that, but they haven't had actual teacher training. When you, like, you know, actually teach people, you're teaching people who learn completely different to other people. Some people might have disabilities, some people might have mental health. Like, you know, I'm a slow learner, so you might have someone who's really athletic and could do something straight away. Then you might have me who wants to, like, you know, like, try it 5 times, and you might have someone else who wants to try it 10 times. I feel like people need teacher training, they need patience, they need to be able to, like, approach different people in different situations.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, so much needs to change, especially in Welsh wrestling. Like, even this weekend now, someone tried to sabotage our custom shoots. Like, they basically tried contacting our venue, and then, like, basically, like luckily we had, like, all of our insurance and all of our safety measures and all that in place, but someone tried sabotaging it in Wales. I've got a pretty good idea who it is, but obviously not going to say anything because, like, nothing, they can't prove it, but it just goes to show, like, how bad it is, all is, and, like, how clicky it is, and you know what I mean? Like, yeah, still not great. Like, I just feel like there's so much bullying in wrestling and so much backstabbing. I'm the sort of person, I'm like, why can't you just be happy for someone? Like, if someone's worked hard or someone's doing well, just be happy for them and just use that as motivation. Like, stop trying to sabotage people, stop trying to sabotage other people's shows. I feel like, especially in Welsh wrestling, so much needs to change. Okay.
So, like, I'm not hugely familiar with the Welsh wrestling scene. So you're saying there's a lot of changes to be made there, is there?
100%. Like I said, like, Welsh wrestling is very clicky. It's like, you know, like, say if you work for one promotion, you can't work for another promotion because that promoter will get annoyed or that person will get annoyed. Like, it's very clicky. And it's like, Wales is such a small place. Why can't you just work for all them places? Why can't people mix? Like, you know, why can't everyone just help each other? But it's not like that. It's literally like, if you work for one place, then you can't work for another place, basically. And then, like, yeah, and then it's like, you know, and it's very like, if you're working for a certain place and you're in with them people, then they're going to get you booked at all the big places out of Wales. But if you're not in with them people, you ain't getting booked in them other places. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow, that's
very, very, very bitchy, very backstabbing. I honestly thought that it had changed, like, when I came back to training in Wales, but I feel like it hasn't. Like, I feel like there's still a lot of backstabbing going on, and I just feel like I'm not in school. I just want, like, you know, like I said, I'll be friends with anyone. Like, literally, like, I'll mix with anyone. I don't care what promotion you're from, where you train from. I literally, like, you know, I'll treat everyone the same, and I feel like people need to be more like that. People just, like, look down their noses at people and they're like, oh, well, so-and-so shit because so-and-so's here and so-and-so doesn't work there. And it's just, it's pathetic. It's like, it's literally like, wrestling's like literally like a part of our lives, but it's not like the whole part of your life. You know, we've also got lives out of this.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So you said you're friends with Nixon Newell as well. She's done very well for herself, I've noticed.
Yeah, we used to wrestle each other loads. I haven't spoken to her for ages because like we weren't really like, you know, like when like you just speak like people at shows, travel, people and everything, like we got on, but like we never hung out of wrestling or nothing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She's done amazing, and you know what? She genuinely deserves it. Like she was actually really one of the nice ones in wrestling. Like she worked so hard. Like she deserved it. I was at the tryouts with her, and I remember I hadn't seen her in ages, and I was like, "Oh my god, you've lost so much weight!" I was like, "You're tiny," and literally. Like she just like you could just see she works hard. Like she'd been working so hard leading up to that tryout, and yeah, she 100% deserved it. She's like such a lovely, sweet person. She deserved it.
Yes. Oh no, she did. I remember watching her for one of the promotions here, and she was great. You know, so
yeah.
Eventually, we knew she would get that called up. You mentioned there that you were at the tryout with her. So what happened with the tryout for you then?
Nothing.
Oh, right.
They don't want me. Oh. They wanted the other Welshie. But like I said, she deserved it. She trained hard. Like I was in a really bad place leading up to that tryout. I was in a really bad relationship. I was just like emotionally and mentally drained. I remember I was in my promo and I just started crying, and William Regal's like, "Do you want a tissue?" Because like I was just like in a really bad place mentally. Yeah, and like I didn't train for it or nothing because like literally like my relationship was like bad, and just like obviously I know that's an excuse. Like if I wanted it more than I wanted my relationship, then obviously I would have trained for it. I clearly just didn't want it enough. You know what I mean? Like she deserved it. Like she literally worked her ass off for it. Like you can't take that away from her. Yeah, and like, you know, there were so many other people at the tryouts. Like, you know, a lot of the guys now are doing WWE UK who also 100% deserved it, you know, like so many people shined at that tryout we were at.
Yeah, and NXT UK has got so many talented people as well. It's a good time 100%. To be a wrestling fan. As a fan, there's a lot of wrestling to watch, which is nice.
There's so much variety now as well. And that's a good thing. And like, especially online, like there's so many like on-demand services. So there's like a lot of variety for it.
Definitely. So could we see you do a tryout again sometime, do you think? Or
I'm getting older. I'm 29 now. Like, I don't know if I'm past my prime or what. Like, I don't know what the situation is. Obviously, like, you know, if they offered, then I'd do it. But at the same time, I'm not waiting for it or anything, because I feel like I've had my tryout. They've seen me. They clearly, like, you know, I'm clearly not for them. So I feel like it's done. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay.
Like, obviously, I know, like, a lot of people have tryouts a few times. Like, you know, there's a few people who've had tryouts a few times and then, like, you know, they got called up and stuff. But I don't know. And once again, as well, I know it sounds awful. I'm not in with the people. I'm not in with the clicks to even get a tryout. Like, you know, like the last time I spoke to Regal, he said, oh, yeah, you've basically got a message to Progress lot to get a tryout now in the UK. So it's a bit like, you know, I'm not in with all these people.
Okay. But so long as you're enjoying where you are.
Well, you know what? Like I said, I'm living off Nadia Sapphire now. Like, literally, I've got my OnlyFans. I do my Stink Face Sunday on it every Sunday, which is like an exclusive wrestling Stink Face video. Okay. I've got my custom wrestling company, got my merchandise. Like, you know, like I live off my brand. So I'm very lucky to be doing that now, very fortunate to be doing that. So, like, you know, a lot of people in wrestling can't do that. I've got the options now that once COVID is over, I can go travel and, like, you know, train in different places, because that was the plan this year. I wanted to go to America and train, because obviously, like, you know, as long as I've got an internet connection, I can still work. So I've got them options for the future anyway, as long as this virus just fucks off.
Yes, that would be nice, wouldn't it? But
yeah, like, I think you just got to be positive at all. I could literally sit there and be negative and just be like, oh, you know what, I had these dreams to go WWE, I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that, I didn't do it. Then, like, what's the point in just being negative about it, you know? Like, obviously, like, you know, that's every wrestler's dream to go to WWE, but at the same time, I've got to be realistic as well.
Yeah, and just be like positive, I guess, which you seem to be quite positive. So that's always a good thing.
Yeah, I'm on one today. Why?
But so when it comes to female wrestlers in as you were growing up, who was your favourite one to watch?
Trish Stratus.
Okay, I kind of it's a very popular choice.
I know, literally everyone. I think it was just like seeing her evolve because like Lita kept obvious. Like Lita was like a first one for me as well, but then like she was in and out with injuries a lot. But like Trish was like the one you seen like from like 2001 to like 2006, just seeing her like evolve, and literally carry that women's division.
Yes. And what about the current roster in WWE?
You know what? I like literally they're all insane. Like Nadia's just amazing. Like Charlotte Flair, Bayley, Sasha Banks, Becky. Obviously, I know Becky's gone now, but still, like literally, like you couldn't ask for a better roster with WWE. Like, I think WWE women are actually the strongest women's roster anyway at the moment.
Yeah, they've certainly got a lot of choices. Which being able to do Royal Rumbles and that now with 30 women,
Yeah.
Which a few years
100%.
ago they might not have had the roster size to do that, I guess.
Exactly. Like honestly, like this. So and like I love how now with WWE, like before it used to be like they'd have like say like one type of look, but now like there's like so many different types of women, different personalities, different builds, different looks. It's amazing. You know what I mean? Like you have people like Nia Jax who's like absolutely beautiful, and then you have someone like Alexis Bliss who's like total opposite but also still beautiful, and you'll have like people like Oscar. Like it's just like so much variety. It's nice. I feel like. There's like a different girl for everyone, if that makes sense. Like, as in, like if like you're a young girl looking like watching wrestling now, you don't just think, oh, I have to look like Trish Stratus if I want to be a wrestler. It's like there's a massive variety.
Yeah, it's an exciting time as a wrestling fan, as I say, because there's just something for everyone.
100%. It'd just be nice like to see shows go live again on TV and stuff, because it's just so different without the crowd. Like honestly, like the crowd make it. Like when you're watching WrestleMania and like the crowds, like the actions and the chanting and stuff, like literally like, they just make it. Like it's like that. It like adds the emotion to the matches.
Yeah, like it's been strange watching some matches and there's no one there to react to it, and it's like. The Superdome thing's quite good, but again, it's through a screen, so you can't hear anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Have you been on the Superdome, on the Thunderdome yet?
No, I don't know how you get on there. What do you do?
So on the WWE's Twitter, they'll have applications open on there every Friday, I think.
Yeah.
They just appear on the Superdome, Thunderdome.
That's so funny.
Yeah. I tried, but I filled in the application and then it said, oh, this one's fully booked. So it's like,
no.
So it's like, well, why did you ask me to fill out this then?
Yeah, literally go for next Friday. We'll see if we can see your face like there.
Yes. Yeah, you should do it as well. Yeah.
How funny.
So what about like, the Mount Rushmore of wrestling? People talk about that. Do you have the Mount Rushmore of wrestling, like the top 4 wrestlers of all time? Who would you put up there for you?
Obviously, I put Trish up there because I love Trish, but then I'd also put people like Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle. Like literally, I was watching wrestling last night, and I was watching 2002, and like it was like a promo with Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, and Ric Flair. And I was like, I'm watching this. It's such a shame that 2 of them have now passed. And they're like so talented and so amazing. And I was watching it. I was thinking, it's nuts to think that in 2 to 3 years, these guys didn't even know that they were going to die. You know what I mean? Like, it's really sad. But yeah, like I've always like loved like their style. Even like, like when I've been watching wrestling as well, like 2001 stuff, Dean Malenko, like I think he was wicked in the ring, like so underrated, but just amazing, like so smooth.
So when it comes to your wrestling style, would you say that you try to be a submission wrestler like what they were?
I love technical style wrestling. Like, a lot of people don't know this about me, but I'm actually like a really good technical wrestler. Like, literally, like, I've gone to like some training places and like I just like tech wrestle and I just like go like, and like I don't even need to talk about it or think about it. It's just all like natural to me, and that's actually like, my favourite part of wrestling. But because of my character, I've never really used it. Like, I use it sometimes, like in odd matches, like now and then. But like with a character, like, you don't really need to use it, but that is like my favourite style of wrestling.
So you can do everything basically.
Not everything, I'm sure move.
So you prefer to be a heel over a babyface then?
I think it's always easier to make someone hate you than like you, especially during an entrance. Because I feel like with an entrance, it's like when I come in face, I feel like, oh, I come across cheesy. Like, what do I do? Like, I worked babyface just before lockdown, and I was like, got to the show and they're like, you're going to be babyface, and I was like, oh my god, like I haven't been babyface in like a year or so, so like, what do I do? So I was like, oh, okay, I'll just come out to like can't remember if it was like, you know, Policeman Milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, I think it was that song, and literally I was just like, oh yeah, I'll just do that, and I'll like, you know, just tease the stink face and then do a stink face at the end of my fire, and you know, like just come out dancing, being like that. But yeah, I watched it and I was like, oh yeah, Naj, like quite dickheads, but yeah. It is awkward. I wish that I could just be like, you know, like you get some people in their baby faces and they just look amazing and everyone wants to cheer for them, and it's just like, it just flows and they're just so likable, and I'm just like, yeah, I feel like I just look like a bitch and I work like a bitch, I may as well be a bitch.
Do you ever are you ever like in a tag team, or do you prefer to work by yourself?
I work by myself a lot at the moment. I've got a stable with someone called RJ Singh and Rishi Ghosh, and we're called the Monarchy, and we're like in 4FW as a stable, and that's really fun being with them because like I love balleting. I've always balleted, like even like when I was injured, like I balleted a little bit, like I've always balleted, and like I love doing that. I feel like there's not really many female ballets around these days, and I feel like if it's done right, it can 100% like add to the matches and add storylines and stuff like that. I did obviously used to tag with my best friend Chardonnay. We had like our little two-lesh thing. But yeah, she's like retired now.
Oh, she?
Yeah, she just does the power girl stuff, but she hates doing shows. She's like, I don't want to do any shows, leave me alone. I did say to her, I said, oh, will you do 4FW for us? And she was like, oh, maybe if we can tag or like, you know, do a 6-woman tag, then maybe I'll do it. And I'm like, okay, perfect.
Do you have like oh gosh.
You're like, oh, okay. You start talking.
No, just like, and so the internet connection went dodgy. So unfortunately you were a bit, the question there, I didn't quite hear it because unfortunately the internet connection cut off.
I said I knew.
So, what about merchandise? Do you have your own like merch?
Yeah, so basically, I've got like my promo picture at the moment. I do have some t-shirts out with like third-party companies, but I'm going to bring my own out, and I did have my own chocolate bars, but they're all gone now.
Oh, right. Oh, that would have been nice.
You eat me.
So, do you have any sort of social medias that we can follow as well?
Yeah. So I've got Twitter, which is Nadia_Sapphire. Instagram is Nadia Sapphire. YouTube is youtube.com/Nadia Sapphire. And OnlyFans is onlyfans.com Nadia_Sapphire.
So one last question before before you retire, is there someone who's currently active on any roster that you'd like to face?
Loads of people actually. So hopefully I suppose back when it's wrestled Tony. I've never wrestled Tony. I've been on shows with her, but never actually wrestled with her. I think I've been like Rumble with her as well, but I don't think we've actually even like touched each other. But I've always owning. I've always wanted to wrestle like Natalia. I think I've learned like so much off of her. So yeah, there's still like a lot of people who I'd love to work. So hopefully I won't get injured and retire yet. Hopefully I'll get injured in like 5 years. miserable and just retire on my own terms. Who knows?
Yeah, it's always, it'll be really nice to have to just retire because you want to, not because you have to.
Exactly, yeah. Then I know when to retire because I'll probably still be doing it then. Like, I'll be all wrinkly coming out and just like the buzz.
Well, thanks for your time, Nadia. It's been lovely talking to you.
No problem. Thank you so much.
No problem. And I'll hopefully see you at the show sometime.
Take care.